So now that Ubisoft stocks are taking a nosedive faster than Boeing planes fall out of the sky, people are looking back at some of the biggest cringe that developers have put forward. Because you see, at Ubisoft, developers are like activists, they're like politicians. In fact, I remember when someone called one of them a CNN anchor, and he snapped by saying, well, everything is political, so you just have to pay to listen to my politics. By the way, do you notice how you genuinely do not know about the political movements that happen in Japan? Or the political movements that happen in South Korea by playing their video games? Like, I read a lot of Japanese manga and I watch Japanese anime and I play South Korean video games, and I have absolutely no idea what political movements and issues they have in their country. Now, of course, you can find out if you want. Like, you go on Google and you read the papers and you find out, like, what happens. But, like, just by playing their video games, just by watching their TV shows, you have absolutely no clue what's going on in their country, what political movements they have, what social issues they're getting. But for some fucking reason, if you ask Japanese people, if you do speak with them, and you ask them about America, it's like, oh, Black Lives Matter, kneeling at the national flag. Isn't that weird? So yeah, like, this is cringe as hell. Looking at these developers, they don't even seem happy doing it. It's almost like they're doing it and the person behind the camera has a gun or something. And it's also not something that gamers actually want. I mean, you're looking at one of the most competitive things that people do for entertainment, which is video games, right? Like, people play video games to climb the ladder, to join the ranking. They don't give a fuck about equality. It's like, why would I even want to be equal with someone that puts less effort than me? Like if I dedicate my precious time in order to learn a video game, and I do research, I look at the meta, I'm watching YouTube videos because I want to be competitive. I don't want to be a drag on my team, and I want my opponents to enjoy playing a competitive match against me. Why the fuck would I want to be equal with someone that doesn't even want to learn? Like, someone that just comes in there and dicks around and... he's feeding, it's like mid or feed, and you let him mid, and he feeds anyway. And he's a drag on his teammates, he doesn't care, he's being disrespectful, but, like, he's language policing. Oh, you said a naughty word, he's going to report you. Why would I want to be equal with that piece of shit? And then they went around and called you elitist, and it's like, oh, yeah, of course, like, anyone that puts effort into something, doesn't matter what it is going to have expectations that other people that want to spend time with him doing that something would at least not be a deadweight. But yeah, no, you got these people with this mentality. And like, these people are some of the worst raging bigots that can exist. Like, dude, I grew up with evangelicals. Like, even evangelicals were a lot more easy to deal with than some of these people that are coming from California now or have the California mindset. Like, they cannot get along with anyone that disagrees with them on anything. And, like, usually, normal people, I would even say that gang members are like that, like, they have, like, a dial, basically, and if you upset them, they kind of let you know, it's like, hey, like, this is not cool, we don't do this, right? Like, and the dial slowly moves from 0 to 11. Like, basically... you kind of know where you're at, like, if they expect that you have some sort of behavior, and if you go out of a line, then they will tell you, and eventually, it ends up with open hostility. But with these types of people, they seem to be like some of the most kind and compassionate people on earth. They're all filled with fake niceties and XOXO and hugs and kisses, and they're super nice to you. Until you do something, and that something is just incredibly random, and there is no dial, it's like a switch. They go from 0 to life ruination in a heartbeat. One moment they're your friend, one moment they're like, oh, you're such a nice individual, and the next moment is like, alright, let's dig through his social media history. Maybe he said something racist 5 years ago so we can get him fired from his job. Show his mother what he... like, these are the woke ideologues that I have experienced in many communities. And this is why I just can't get along with them. Like, I can get along with many people just fine, of different ideologies, different creeds, different content creed, like, different whatever. But for some fucking reason, like, if you have these woke activists, it's almost impossible to get along with. And they themselves will tell you this. Like, there are people that left this mindset and then they tell you stories, and it's harrowing. It's like, how could you live like that? It's like, well, I couldn't. That's why I left. So imagine working with them. Imagine being at a studio. Imagine going to work knowing that anything you say can just flip that light switch from zero to life ruination. And the only thing that they know how to climb the corporate ladder is by kicking others that are on top. You know, like normally at a company, like if you want to be the best artist, well, you have to show that you draw better than the previous artist, right? No, with social justice, it doesn't work like that. You need to go on the bigger artist social media and see if you can find anything problematic so you can get them fired, and then you take their place. And it promotes mediocrity. Because you're not going to get people that are good at their job. You're going to get people that know how to cancel culture. Even my phone battery died. My troll is now dead. Because it's depressed since I'm talking about this. And the reason I'm talking about this is actually I have people that approached me and told me what's on the inside. And it's like, well, it's pretty much what I would expect. So, like, this is the main reason why their games fail to sell. Like, they do not understand the customer at all. Like, the customer doesn't care about equality. The customer craves for the PewDiePie bridge. Like, these are the people you're trying to sell games, and they're not interested anymore. Like, they're not interested in your lecturing. Like, why would they spend money to hear your politics? They can open CNN and listen to them for free. So, apparently they're doubling down now. Like, everything that I've heard coming from Ubisoft is that they're doubling down. The reason they're not selling is because they're not inclusive enough. It's because they're not diverse enough. So they're going to diversify even further. And they genuinely believe what the press is lying to them. Like, they read IGN, it's like, oh, the reason the game didn't sell is because, Concord didn't sell because it cost $40. I mean, who has $40 in 2024? It's a fortune. Like, no one would spend $40 on a game. Meanwhile, Wukong is selling like crazy. Yeah. No, it's going to be more of the same. And to be honest, governments are also responsible for this because they keep giving them grants, they keep bailing them out because they view that they're promoting the culture. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm glad I'm not the culture because with people like this promoting it, you don't need any enemies. Like you don't need people to tarnish the culture if these are the individuals that are promoting it. Yeah, people are digging up a lot of cringe stuff. And this is from another game, The Division 2. Where, I remember the trailer, it was you're charging the White House in order to remove Trump from office. That was the joke that people were saying during the trailer. But, incredibly sanitized game. Nothing interesting about it. Nothing cool that was remarkable. I remember Division 1 was interesting because it had, like, mind-blowing graphics. Of course, just in the trailer, not in the actual game. But, it was kind of cool idea, like an MMO type of game with third-person shooter mechanics. That actually managed to catch a couple of eyes, and people were paying attention. But the next game just, had nothing going for it. Absolutely nothing. Well, it did have equality, I guess. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.